Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Focus Vandalia. My name is Rich Hopkins. I'm the communications manager for the city. And on today's program, we are celebrating all things summer. We'll let you know about the Farmers Market, which has opened its 2017 season, give you an inside look at how that's going. We'll give you some good tips if you're planning on opening a backyard swimming pool this year, things you'll need to know to get that pool up and running. And we're going to check in with our Division of Police, give you some great summertime crime prevention tips. But our first stop today is here on Poe Avenue. We are at the former Stratacash building, and as you can see behind me, work is underway right now to renovate this building into a new home for as many as 150 new employees to the city. These two buildings have been home to a couple of Vandalia businesses that have since moved on to other locations. But as Assistant City Manager Greg Shackelford explains, they won't be empty much longer.
This one I'm thrilled about because I had known for a while that they were really seriously considering us. It's a company, Cables to Go. They're going to actually do business as a company called Ortronics, from what I understand. And they have been in Moraine for several years, and we're looking to just become more operationally efficient within the space that they had. So they looked at several buildings around the region and ended up landing here in Vandalia.
The plan calls for renovation work to be ongoing until the building is in move-in condition.
As a whole, they're going to be bringing roughly 125 to 150 full-time employees from Moraine, a very nice payroll amount that is really kind of a boost that we need right now for a few major employers that unfortunately we've lost.
Also in economic development news, the former Morton Middle School site is under construction for some new businesses.
We're hopeful it would be in the fall, but first quarter of 2018, may be more realistic. They're still pulling some information internally on where they want to go from a total budget perspective, but I know they're going to be spending north of $1 million on the property, which is very exciting for not only the building owner, but for us as a city.
Right now, one building is already under construction, with a local dentist ready to begin construction on building number 2 very soon.
It was publicly announced Dr. Volk, who's an existing dentist in Vandalia already across from our facility, is going to build a new building, along with there's going to be another potential medical user has not been announced at this point now. So for us, we're retaining two very solid, well-respected community businesses with PriMed and Dr. Volk's dental business. And what we're hoping is that we could even replace those with some additional business. So it's a win-win.
Shackelford says the plan is for the rest of the former site to see construction crews in the future.
Could be a really fast burner, could be 2 to 3 years, could be 5 years, could be 10 years before they get that filled up. But the best news of all is that we're getting the right type of businesses that council had wanted from the start. We were able to sell that whole roughly 10 acres in one fell swoop, and that makes us really excited.
Heavy work is also underway on Adeline Avenue, where street crews are working on an ambitious street reconstruction project.
Basically, we got a total street reconstruction that we're doing on Adeline. CG Construction is our contractor that's working here in town right now. They've only been out here for about a week and a half, but they've gotten a lot of progress done so far. They've got 2 pipe crews here right now working on putting in the sanitary sewer and the water line at the same time. Residents have got a little bit of a mess to deal with, but they're getting people in and out efficiently. We've had some good comments from people so far.
GIS technician Chad Bothman says the project is a complete rebuild.
We're replacing basically all the city's utilities that are in the right-of-way, all the sanitary, water, storm, and after that's complete and all the lines are tested and everything and put into service, we'll end up resurfacing the street, putting in new curbs, new drive aprons for everybody, and sections of sidewalk, new curb ramps.
Bothman says the best thing about the reconstruction project involves who will be paying for the work.
No assessments for this project. Everything for the project's been covered through our sanitary storm water funds, and also our safe and stable money.
One other project underway this summer is the repainting of the Attica Street water tower. Boffman says most of the work done thus far has been inside that water tank, but that's about to change.
It looks like they've got some sandblasting they're doing on the outside right now. I know they've done some painting outside on the legs of the tower, but they still have the main tower itself to paint and put our new logo and everything on.
From water in a tower to water in a pool. Our next stop today is a sit-down with Vandalia City Planner Amber Holloway, who says if your summer Beat the Heat plan involves a backyard pool, there are some things you'll need to know.
So a swimming pool which requires a permit is going to be any swimming pool structure that can hold 24 inches or more of water. So that even includes those storable swimming pools that you can buy from Walmart for under $50. So it's really important to know that you will need a zoning permit for those. And in certain cases, you're also going to need an electrical permit for those pumps and filters to run. The other big key component to this is that you'll also need a barrier of some kind for the swimming pool. So in certain cases, you're going to need a fence. In other cases, the swimming pool wall can serve as the barrier itself. But in other cases, you can also do a working safety cover as long as it complies with certain regulations. There's a multitude of ways to achieve that barrier, but that is another key component to think about before you go out and purchase that swimming pool.
It's a good idea to make your first stop the Development and Engineering Services Department, where staff can drastically simplify the permit process.
The first thing that you should do is stop into our offices, the Development and Engineering Services Department, and we'll actually print a site plan for you. We make it really easy for you to get that permit, and we give you all the regulations right there at the counter, help you fill out your application, you submit it, and in about a week to 2 weeks, you can have that turned around and be getting ready to have your swimming pool installed. We'll come out and inspect it and make sure that everything is good to go according to plan, and then you'll be ready to swim this summer.
For a complete look at all the do's and don'ts of a swimming pool installation, check out our website, vandaliaohio.org. Head over to the DES Development and Engineering Services section for a helpful information sheet with everything you'll need to know. Our next stop takes us to our crime prevention officer, Holly Estep, who says an unfortunate summertime occurrence is the heating up of some types of crime.
We're seeing a spike in car break-ins. They're happening overnight. Right now we're seeing them happen on the weekends.
If you'd like to avoid being a victim of crime, there's one simple thing you can do.
One thing you can do is take your valuables out.
You should also lock your car doors to make it less attractive to criminals.
They're looking for unlocked vehicles. They're looking for change in valuable items that they can go take to the pawn shop and sell.
Estep says she's also trying to spread the word about an exciting series of presentations designed to keep you safe.
The Summer Safety Series, we're into our second class. Will be held July 11th. From 6 to 7 at the police department, and it's for active shooter training. A program that I put together about different topics of safety concerns during the summer. In July will be our second class, which is an active shooter training. Active shooter training will talk about what to do if you find yourself in an active shooter situation.
Getting signed up for the Summer Safety Series is very easy.
If you're interested in taking the Summer Safety Series or the active shooter class coming up July 11th, give me a call at 415-2272.
Another spot where you can check out some interesting summer speakers is the Senior Citizens Center, where a new speaker is scheduled for every Monday of the month at 1 p.m.
On July 10th, Mike Williams, who's a teacher during most of the year, he's going to talk about FDR's confidential crusader, the man in the background that pulled a lot of strings and worked a lot of things out for FDR. July 17th, Jim Crabtree and Tina Baldridge will be coming. They're going to be in costume and having a conversation between Abraham and Mary Todd Lincoln. Should be very interesting. July 24th, you may recognize this person, Arlene Setzer. She's going to be coming to talk about her entire political career, including the frustrations and the times she's lost some races and how that changed her perspective on things. And on July 31st, Lynn Hansen's coming. She's in charge of the Collections and Research Department at the Boonshoff Museum. And she's going to be talking about the pre-contact history of Indians before the Europeans arrived, like the Fort Ancient and the Woodland Indians. So it sounds like a lot of good speakers are coming.
Senior Center Coordinator Tony Williams says the Vandalia Division of Fire is also planning a couple of July presentations.
They're going to do 2 more sessions in July, Thursdays, July 13th and July 27th, starting at 10 o'clock. They go till 12 o'clock, but there's a break in there, and it's rather laid back. It's not like you're in class. July 13th, they're talking about carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, residential lockbox, and the new rescue truck will be coming for show and tell. I'm sure you'll be allowed to climb on it. And on July 27th, Kim will be covering fire, electrical, and vehicle safety. Now, some of that may get preempted. There is a container having to do with burns and fires that is shared by several fire departments. So if that arrives, some of this content will be moved over to August. And they'll be doing that because she has to get that back to them. Thursday, July 27th from 11:30 to 2:30, Laura Correa from Montgomery County Safe Communities will be coming. She's going to give out candy, but what she really wants to hand you is all her handouts on traffic safety. This is very close to home. She lost a family member, and she is crusading to make sure everybody drives as safely as they can.
One final note from the Senior Center, there's good news to report from the membership committee, as the center this past month passed an impressive milestone.
I'm really liking the number 700 this month because we crossed over that line. We're now actually at 708 members, so we are very happy to have that number and heading towards 800, so I hope that number comes up soon.
The Vandalia Senior Citizens Center is located on Tyonda Drive, right next to Seeger Park. That's home of the Vandalia Community Farmers Market. This year's market will be held every Friday through July and August from 4 to 8 p.m. The big attraction is always the locally grown produce, but there's also food trucks, live entertainment, and craft booths. The big attraction at Vandalia's Helke Park might just be the newly resurfaced and revamped tennis courts. Parks and Recreation Director Steve Clark.
We're real fortunate that we've got a facility use agreement with the Vandalia Butler schools. And we, several years ago, we did a project at the sports complex with the Field 6 and putting dugouts and turning that into the high school girls field, home field. And then of course we use it the remainder of the year. So to build off of that, the schools came to us and said, hey, we would like to use Helke Park for our men's and women's tennis teams. Is that a possibility? So as part of the agreement, we agreed to do it. And as part of our plan, we were going to take out the courts here behind us and just go down to 6 tennis courts. So when they came to us, we had the opportunity to add pickleball courts because we have a growing pickleball community here in Vandalia. So it worked out great. We were able to restore these courts, resurface them, and we'll be playing pickleball on them within the next couple weeks.
The pickleball courts are creating a buzz locally as the game has literally exploded over the past couple years.
It really has, and it's mostly seniors, but it's not just for seniors, and it's a combination of tennis, ping pong. It just gives people an opportunity to play on a smaller court with a hard paddle and more of a wiffle ball type thing. But it's a very active sport and growing in the country tremendously.
Clark says he expects the pickleball courts to be very busy as we head through the rest of the summer months.
We're anticipating a big crowd out here at all times of the day, really, and the pickleball group here in Vandalia has aspirations to run some tournaments and such, so I think we'll see a lot of activity at all hours of the day out here.
And while crews get the finishing touches completed on those pickleball courts, we're heading to the Vandalia Recreation Center, where Recreation Supervisor Alicia McCracken says fall soccer signups are in full swing.
Fall soccer, believe it or not, is right around the corner. Baseball season's wrapping up, so we're on to the next youth sport. So soccer begins, actually teams are drawn in the mid-July time frame, so make sure you get up and register here at the rec center or register online, whichever is most convenient for you. We've got a lollipop program for 3-year-olds that runs on Saturday mornings. That's a great introductory kind of program for the little ones, and then we start regular leagues for 4-year-olds all the way up to 17, and $70 for residents, $80 for non-residents, all-inclusive fee. For those leagues you get shirts, socks, shorts, so everything's provided for you, and we'll get rolling with the season in mid-August and have a good old time.
They'll also be having a good old time in late July when the Zumbathon takes center stage.
Every year in July, we have our big Hotter Than Summer Zumbathon. It's a huge event. We have a lot of people that come out for it. It's a lot of fun. And this year it's going to be on Sunday, July 23rd.
For the uninitiated, Zumba is an exercise class with a twist.
Zumba is a class full of different dance routines. You're working out while you're having fun. You don't realize you're working out so hard because you're laughing, smiling, all going along to really fun music, really upbeat and energetic, and it's a lot of fun.
If the Zumbathon sounds like something you'd like to check out, here's a word to the wise. Sign up fast, as spots are limited.
For residents, it is $8, and non-residents, it is $10. We ask that everyone please pre-register because spots are limited. It will be held in the studio in the air conditioning, so we are limited with spots, so please pre-register.
Speaking of the Recreation Center, now is the time to stock up on recreation gift certificates that can save you money all year long. Administrative Coordinator Sharon Hamby says from July the 7th through August the 14th, there's an incredible deal on the table.
You spend $25, we give you $5. These these gift certificates can be used on memberships, childcare, programs, or any other service offered by the Vandalia Recreation Center. And it's a great savings, and you can use them throughout, next year, however long you want to make your purchases go out till.
And there's also a great bargain to be had if you've been thinking about joining Castle Hill Swimming Pool.
There's a great bargain happening at the Castle Hill Swimming Pool. Starting July 5th it's through the rest of the season, you can buy Castle Hill's pool memberships at half price. That's all memberships. And you would have from July 5th until September 3rd to enjoy the pool. That's also a great savings, half price, and you're really in the prime of summer and being able to use the pool throughout the rest of the year.
Of course, swimming pools are much more fun if you know how to swim. Aquatic Supervisor Steve Trick has a word to the wise. The final session for summer swim classes begins on July the 10th.
The last session will be July 10th and it'll run until July the 20th. We'll have evening lessons out at Castle and then morning lessons here at the rec. They pretty much run the gamut from really small mom and me type thing, or dad and me, and up to about level 3 for sure. It kind of depends on if there's enough registered for the upper levels.
The pool is open now through Labor Day with a very distinctive wrap-up to the season.
Turn the pool over to the dogs. We go to the dogs on Labor Day, the evening of. We'll have the normal open swim will stop at 5:30, and then the Soggy Doggy event will start at 6 and go until 7:30.
Our final stop today is here at the Vandalia Art Park, where, as you can see, the exhibits for the 2017 season have been installed and they're open for your consideration. Now, I want to draw your attention to these benches. These are benches that were carved as part of a symposium by a North Carolina sculptor, Todd Fromm. It's interesting to look at the two pieces. One of those is inspired by the classic fable, The Tortoise and the Hare. And as you can see, the detail is pretty incredible. The other one is a lesser known fable involving a ram, a raven, and a fox. You can see these now on display. They'll be installed a little later this summer for the public to enjoy for the rest of time. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus Vandalia. I'm Rich Hopkins. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.